Well, good morning. I hope you're doing good. There we go. We had a little mess up in our technology. Hope you're doing good. I'm going to try the earbuds this morning. Someone said that might make the sound even better for you guys. But I hope you're having a wonderful day. My week is much better this week than last week. You heard all about my pool leaks and septic tank escapades, and then we had 30 eating and sleeping at our house this past weekend. Lots of fun, but it was a crazy week last week. But it is my favorite time of year, and we're going to do this special training. I think I've done a training like this every year for 20 years, just so we can all come together. And you're probably doing this on your own, but just for us to take a few minutes, 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and focus on the new year, a new you. You don't want to be the same you. You may have had an amazing 2023. How many of you would say 2023 just be really honest. Why don't you rate, let's say if 10 was your best year ever and 1 was your worst, where would you rate 2023? Give me a number. Where does 2023 fall in your best of years scale of 1 to 10? I want to see some numbers here. I'm not sure Hope's going to join us. She may be here, but she is 8.5 months pregnant. We're so excited. And I think she has a baby doctor appointment today. So I don't know if Hope will be with us. Hope, if you're there, you can say hey and let me know you're here. I'm not sure. 6s and 7s. So I'm seeing middle of the road. There's Hope. She's here. She's got to go to her baby doctor appointment later. But thanks for joining us, Hope. So I see an 8, 6, 7s, and 8. Y'all are all playing it safe. So nobody had a bad year. Nobody had an amazing year. 8's pretty good. But I would have thought there was a little bit more. If comparing it to recent years, because recent is on my brain, there's a negative 50 here. Somebody did have a bad year. I'm so sorry you had a bad year, Debbie. That means it's easier to make 2024 a better year. But coming out of the chaos of COVID and mandates and lockdowns and lack of leadership and all those things, the further away we get from that, it's easier to me to seem like the years are getting better. They're getting easier to be better for sure. Carol says no more than a 7. Okay, so we're getting a feeler. I would say last year for us was, for me, I would give it an 8. I would say 8's a good number for that too. It wasn't a perfect year, but it was way better, and it felt like we were out of the exhaust fumes of COVID and moving forward. So do this every year. I just wanted to see how you all felt, because we're in a place right now where this is the kind of the end of the stuff we're talking about in the fourth quarter of 2023. And we focused on why now was the time to activate, to jumpstart, to dive in. And the company's given us so many reasons from a business perspective, with celebrating the 30th anniversary of the company with discounted paths to, I'm seeing some 3s. Those are not good years. I'm seeing a 5. Thanks for your honesty on how last year went. But why was now a good time? Why is it a right time to jump in now? Because I think a lot of people are looking at decisions and going through new doors. But the thing that holds them back is, what's the impetus to make me do it now versus wait? I've waited this long so far. Why would I wait? So we're talking about why now. But I want us to think about a new look for the new year, a new you. Maybe it is a new look you want. A lot of people there's some vanity things that people want for a new look. Maybe it's a wardrobe change. Maybe it's a change of scenery. Maybe you're moving. Maybe there's a trip you're going to take. So you get to look at something that maybe you've never seen, the Grand Canyon. You get to go see it. I don't know. But I always think about, when I'm thinking about this new year, I like to think about the pressures around us. Did you know that whether it's you growing up and the environment you grew up in, the parenting, the friends you hung around, or it's today, it's the media and the things we listen to. If you don't get up and have that quiet start in the morning and put the good stuff in, the world's going to influence you. And if you're not thinking about and planning what next year is going to look like, here's what you're going to be seeing as we turn the corner. Maybe you're going to get a new calendar. Maybe you're going to plan a trip. You're going to read a book. You're going to set a goal, a New Year's resolution. You can see how well those go if you go to a gym or a fitness center. And if you're committed to work out at your gym. I'm at my gym 3 days a week. I mean, ours is part of our golf course, so it's private, so it's not too crazy. But if you're committed to the gym, you probably hate January, and maybe it lingers into February. But most people, they fade quick. Your gym will be crazy and busy with people having great intentions, and it fades out. Those are goals and resolutions that people do every year, but they don't do anything that has stickiness to it. Maybe you got some relationships to heal, health and fitness goals. Maybe you got a fear to overcome. Maybe you want to go skiing or scuba diving or something that you really want to do, but you've got fear and you haven't done it yet. Habits to break and habits to make. How many of you have some habits you need to break? How many of you have some new habits you need to make? What's a good new habit? As I'm saying these things, what's a habit somebody needs to break? If you want to list it, maybe it's personal and private. You don't. And what's a new habit you want to make? I mean, how about having a quiet time every morning, getting up with God and your Bible and a great book you're reading, and just some quiet time with all the buzzes and beeps and noises of your phone and your watch shut down, and you get to listen to God's still, small, quiet voice and start your day putting positive, good stuff in. I see someone saying they've got boundaries they need to set. That's probably a relationship thing too. We probably all have boundaries we need to set. But this is what's going to bombard you unless you take control of it. And what we tend to do, I think, is we tend to grab a hold of a few of these things and build them on a foundation of sand. They're shallow and they are allowed to fade and crumble fairly quickly. But you want to be in control. If you want to be a new you, this is what it reminded me of. Do you all know who this is, right? This is the Incredible Hulk, or it's Dr. Bruce Banner. And you see the problem, the Dr. Bruce Banner was the brilliant, intelligent side of this, and the Hulk was the powerful, out of control side of this. But if you wanted to be a new you, and you're looking at this Hulk situation, the most terrible thing about Hulk is he couldn't control when he was the new you and when he was the old, out of control self. He didn't have control over that. It was anger or stress or something triggered him to go back to the old self. And so as we work on this new year and work on this plan, we want to make sure that we do it in a controlled way, and that new you is something we can stick with. It's not 4 days on the treadmill and some barbells and we give up. Okay? So, how do you start the new year versus how should you start the new year? Can you, some of you are much younger than me. Some of you are a few years older than me. They're not many years older than me, but there are a few. How have you done previous transitions into a new year that have been good or that have failed? Jot down here in the comments. Maybe there's a memory of turning into a new year and you felt like you just did an amazing job of turning the page. Because I believe that how the world wants us to start the new year is not always how we should start the new year. What do you all think like the number one New Year's resolution in the U.S. is? Somebody guess. Let me hear some guesses. What's the number one every year New Year's resolution that people tout and go after in the U.S.? No guesses? What's the number one There it is. Lose weight. Yep. It's so easy. I mean, everybody's jumping on there. It's so easy to know because, I mean, my mom used to say, she says she had lost several tons in her lifetime, which also meant she gained several tons in her lifetime. But it's a vanity thing because we all want to look good and look our best in the mirror in our clothes. We want to feel like we're aging less, but it's also, COVID showed us that obesity and people that were overweight were at a much higher risk for that disease, upper respiratory disease, than others. So it's also a major factor in our health. So it's probably the number one, or it is the number one resolution in the U.S., but it's also the one that people fail the most because they go after skinny instead of healthy. And if you're skinny, you're going to gain weight to get healthy. If you're obese or fat or overweight, whatever term you want to use, you're going to lose weight to get healthy. The goal needs to be get healthy. So how do you start the new year? Well, it's not to have a diet goal. I'm going to jump on this diet. The goal should be to get healthy, not to get skinny. Okay? And it goes back to this book, one of my favorite books. I've taught it many times. I mean, I've probably got, 25 books that I think are like must-read books. And this is one of them. Because we all have questions in life. What should our New Year's resolutions be? Or how do we start the new year? How should we start the new year? A parenting decision you have to make. A dating or a marriage decision you have to make. A tough business decision you have to make. The question that we always ask is, what's the right thing to do? What does the media say? What does the news say? What do my friends say? Who am I? Which people groups am I going to rock their boat the least? And did you know that what is the right thing to do is the wrong question to ask? This book clearly shows us that the right question to ask, to get a biblical perspective, to get God's wisdom in our life, we need to be asking what's the wise thing to do, not the right thing to do. Because the world, the news, the media, the people groups that put pressure and protest and draw flags and say they're being discriminated against or whatever the issues might be, that's not always the best way to measure what our best next step is, what our decision should be. So if you want to read the book, it's a great book. Read it. But the question is, what's the wise thing to do? What would God want me to do? And a lot of times that's found in those quiet starts in the morning when you can hear and listen. So don't ask yourself what the right thing to do is in 2024. That's what's the wise thing to do. And we're going to get a little closer to that answer here in just a minute. But I think everybody wants a new normal. I think we just need to be better. I think we need to get on top of our A game. We need to have big goals. We need to have an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. I think COVID and socialism and lack of leadership in our country has made us have a scarcity mindset. What can we cut back? How can we shrink our goals? How can we drive a car less so we don't do this or we don't do that? Or how do we just shrink our ambitions and our goals so that we can exist better together? And I believe Scripture, I believe God, I believe all things point to the fact that we're supposed to experience abundance. That doesn't mean Rolex watches, Mercedes, and a mansion. Abundance means living at a high level, at a high plane, thriving and achieving, not surviving and striving, okay? So the new normal, let's decide right now that the new normal is a mindset of abundance, not a mindset of scarcity. That's what we've come out of. We've come out of this mindset of scarcity, of inflation, of high interest rates, of the worst economy we've had in decades, high oil prices. All those things make us think scarcity. But you know what? There's lemons, but there's always an opportunity to make lemonade. And 2024, there's a new election. We should have some new and better leadership come into place because what we have is, it can't get any worse, It really can't get any worse. So there's a new normal coming, but what I want you to think about is you hear that on the news, the new normal coming out of this, and to me, that's a let it happen attitude, because I know we're all hoping things get better. Now, I have a great story about Hope because I love my daughter Hope, and she came after 6 years of miscarriages, and she's named after Proverbs 13:12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. And we got our hope. But if you just take the verb hope or the noun hope, it's really very passive, because you're wishing, hoping, thinking, desiring, betting on what's coming, but you're not doing it. For the most part, I don't think when people hope, it doesn't mean they have any energy or passion or action behind it. Hope sometimes is not proactive. Hope sometimes is not take initiative. Hope sometimes is I want it very bad, but it can be very passive. So when I wrote this book, Make a Life, Not Just a Living, it was at a point, and I'm just going to share one point here. When Lori and I, and say one thing, that book is on makealife.com. If you can't afford the book, I'll send you one. I can send you a PDF download, and maybe Hope can come back. I think it should. We just did the Audible version of the book, and it should be on Audible this week. It takes a little while to get it on there, but you should be able to get it as an Audible and listen to it this week. But anyway, I'm not in the book business. I'm in the business of hopefully leading and developing and just helping us all follow God better and be at the top of our game and be in an abundance versus a scarcity mindset. But talking about being passive, Lori and I were wanting a better life. We were wanting her to be able to stay at home, wanting her to be able to be at home with the kids. And we just talked about it the first 6 months of our marriage. Wanting it very bad, but something had to happen that made us go from wanting to doing something about it. I don't think this is Jeff Roberti's original quote, but he says this a lot. It may be Jim Rohn, but it's for things to change, you have to change. And we decided at a point that we were going to go make the life we wanted to make. We were not going to accept the life that the traditions and patterns and what our culture was of just making a living, and whatever was left over was the life you got. Or maybe when you were 65 and your 401k was full, it was the life you got. But we decided we were going to make a life. And so that's the message there, and that's something we can talk about here. But what it makes me think about is what for you is going to make you stop hoping, wanting, desiring, and do something about it. As you go into this new year, what are some things that you've talked about? Some things you've dreamed about? And this is not just business right now. This could be family. This could be church. It could be a relationship. It could be a trip. It could be a ministry you wanted to get involved in. It could be a book you wanted to write. It could be time you wanted to spend with a aging parent. It could be a car. There are a lot of things that it could be, but I want you to think about it. It could be getting your business to the point of which you had that reliable, steady income coming in every month, so your family didn't have to have stress and struggle. That you went out, and between your customers and the new people, the team you brought on board, that you made that happen this year. It's time for the waiting game to be over. This is a great time for you to say, enough is enough. If I don't do anything different, I'm not going to get anything different. I've got to do some things different in 2024 to make it turn out different than 2023. That's just common sense logic, okay? So let's have a waiting game is over attitude, and you've got to make that list of what those things are, okay? I don't know what they are for you. I really, really don't. But if we're going to have a new look for the new year, I'm going to go back. So, go ahead. Jump in there and comment. What are some of those things that you've wanted, but you're stuck in the waiting place? It's things you've wanted, that you didn't make the necessary change, that you didn't do different what you needed to do different. So those things are in the waiting category. You've wanted them for a long time, but you've talked about them enough, and you just decided either intentionally or unintentionally, subconsciously, they're in that category of waiting, and you haven't done anything about them. Right? I mean, you don't have to put them on the screen in the comments, but it's something you need to put on paper and in writing and have down so you know that you're going to fight through that, or you'll just leave it in the waiting category, okay? So these are, you're going to say, you've brought these questions up before, Kurt. Yes, I probably brought these questions up at least 12 times this year because we've used them and talked about them every single month because we wanted to make each month better than the next month. And these 3 questions are powerful. You can use them in your marriage, in your parenting, in a relationship, in an organization you volunteer for, and certainly in your business, in your personal growth. Maybe you're training for a marathon, or hey, you have a big goal, some kind of health goal you want, okay? Somebody tell me, you know what's funny is we have a big event in January called Level Up. And a lot of people use the term, I need to level up. And I think it's just because I'm old. But sometimes that term doesn't register. I saw somebody stick it in the comments. Sometimes that doesn't register with me. So you can say leveling up, okay? But do you level up about something in particular? Do you just level up across the board and raise the level of doing things? Somebody give me a little brief in there of how we're supposed to use level up. I mean, I guess I could level up. You certainly can level up the top of your coffee cup. You'd fill it up and level it up. I guess that means fill it to the brim. So does level up your life or level up in business? Does that mean just bring things to a new standard? I'm not good with all these. I know most of the terms. I know how to use all my gadgets. I'm high tech. But sometimes some of these new terms, they just, honestly, it don't make sense to me. Anyway, that's just sidebar. So those 3 questions that we've been using every month, to know, you got to know where you start the month in order to keep doing the right things, stop doing the wrong things, and make the next month better. But we have an opportunity, not 12 times, but once a year, we have an opportunity to look back and look at the year as a whole. So let's think about these 3 questions, and you've got a big window of time to ask and answer these questions. So this is very serious. This is not just me throwing these 3 questions. I want you to get pad, paper, iPad, and Apple Pencil, whatever you use. You can do it right now. You can start putting some of them in the comments if you want to, because anything you put in here helps other people think too. It's not just helping you think, okay? Excuse me. Hang on one sec. Okay. So what's going well? What's going well this year? Go back. It doesn't have to be exactly January, but what are some things that this year that you're proud of, that went well? What's not going so well, and what do you need to do different? So let's dive into these just a little bit deeper, okay? So, big green light. I want to move forward. I want to keep my engine going. I want to drive my car more and more like this. What are some things that you did in 2024? Number 1, think of them. You're proud of them. Something you accomplished, maybe. Maybe something you did for the first time that you knew you needed to do, and it's working, but you broke through a fear barrier. Maybe it's the use of technology, events. How many of you did a sourdough workshop for the first time ever in 2023? I bet there are a lot of you that would say that was a first-time thing. It was first time for me. And I love the event, but I love the bread even more, and I love that it's good for our gut health, and that's one thing that I did. I think we should keep doing those. I mean, Lori and I are excited about people down here at the lake learning how to make sourdough. Yeah, it was something new. But make a list of what went well And those are things that you want to cling to and keep doing, okay? Now, there's another list. This list isn't as fun, but it's like spring cleaning. Are there some things you're doing that are not productive time wasters? Are there some obstacles that you need to get over, around, or under, or through that you hadn't figured out how to do that yet? Are there some things that you set as goals and activities that you want to achieve every month that cause you to procrastinate and you never do them? Is there, let me think, I'm trying to prompt your brain to give you some triggers here. Is there a habit you have you need to break? I know I think of sometimes in this scenario, what do I need to stop? What's not going so well? You know, the Apostle Paul, when he was talking to the church at Thessalonica, the book of 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. So I think of Paul as this amazing leader that expanded his business into other geographic territories. So this doesn't have to be just a faith lesson, it's a principle lesson. There are lots of principles in the Bible that just timeless principles at work. So he comes in, pretend this is your team, pretend this is your kids. And he says, what are y'all doing? You're not getting anything done. And he's analyzing the situation. It's not going good. And their response is, or maybe this could be your upline, your mentor, your accountability partner asking you this question. And the response is, I am so busy. You would not believe it. Here's what I do. I mean, blah, 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 blah. My schedule. Look at my calendar. And, I've got, maybe they've got their filing cabinets more organized than anything they've ever seen. They have, their Juice Plus in clear glass jars, and they have a jar for every day of the week, and it's on display. They've got business cards. Every book, label, brochure is got their name and phone number on it with labels. They have got an amazing calendar that's color-coded. And Paul says, yeah, you're busy, but you're busy doing the wrong things. You've got to be busy about the right things. Just being busy is not good enough. Does that describe you? Are you busy? I mean, how many new customers? We'll relate it to our business for a minute. How many new customers? How many new partners, Partner Pluses, and QSCs? How many new qualifiers have you gotten in the last year? Or just if you want to turn it, just look at activity instead of results. How many conversations are you having on a daily basis with new people? Don't even judge on results. Judge on what the activity is, and it's conversations with new people. And for everybody on this call, it should be, if you're part-time, it should be at least start 2 new conversations a day. If you're full-time doing this, it's probably 10 new conversations a day. Okay? It's all, what are your expectations? What are you trying to get out of this business? So, I am telling that to you. So it may be something you're not doing that you need to do. So when you think about things you need to stop doing, what went wrong last year or throughout this year, because we're not into next year yet. So what went wrong? What didn't go so well in 2023? Be willing to explore things that you should have done that you didn't do. So what went wrong is I didn't do this. I didn't do what I knew I needed to do. I set goals and I didn't follow through. I procrastinated. Or I used the company's restart, and every time I got close and I didn't want to push through the finish line and finish what I started, I just said, it's okay, I'll just restart. There's lots of new things coming in 2024. That it's the new person that wants to put on their seatbelt, buckle down, and get it done. Their rewards for express tracking versus fast tracking, there's going to be a significant difference in what an express track gets versus a fast track. Just wait, that's coming very soon. Travis understands that, if there's just a little bitty incremental difference in being a go-getter and getting it done and being a procrastinator and waiting and restarting and restarting and restarting, then you'll always procrastinate and restart and restart and restart. But you know what? If there's a significant benefit in getting your express track to P plus done in 10 days or QSC in 30 days versus 30 days or 60 days, If the reward is significantly greater, double or whatever it might be, the go-getters are going to not even look at ringing the bell if I give up. They're not going to wave the white handkerchief and say I'm going to restart. So just think about that. Is what went wrong, and it could be things you didn't do. It may not just be things you did that were wrong. It may be things you didn't do. Okay? So make that list. Sorry, we're going long here. And then what needs to change? Could be some small changes, or you might need a new fish tank. And you know what? It required, look at these little fish. The fish that don't do this, they don't realize that the bowl they're in has an open top. They just keep swimming around because that's what they've always done. But that's not where your ceiling is. That's not where your limit is. You don't have to keep swimming around doing what you always did. You can leap to the new bowl. It's definitely an option. And we talked about, so that's the other list that you need to make. And this is where you may need your upline, your mentor, your upline national marketing director. This is where other conversations are important. When you write down and you process those first two questions, what's going well, what went wrong, the answers to those two questions create what needs to change. They create what's going on here. It could be you need to stop things that you did that you shouldn't do, but it could be that there were opportunities that you didn't go through and you need to stop not going through those open windows and open doors, and you need to jump because God has something bigger and brighter out there for you next. That's what these fish are realizing in this picture. Fresh water, a new place to put down roots, a new environment to operate in, a whole new set of people to communicate with. But you thought you just had to keep swimming in the same bowl, but you don't. Okay? Now last week, I think it was last week, I get my days confused, we were talking about starting well the month of December. And I did a little play on words, and we said, just like Santa Claus, he's making his list and he's checking it twice. So these are three lists you can make for sure. You can go back and watch that video from last week. I think Hope can grab that and probably stick that in here, the video from last week. But make your three lists, check them twice of what went well, what went wrong, and what needs to change, okay? And there's a lot more lists that we talked about that are good to make near the end of the year. Now, I want to kind of move towards closing us out here with what do we need to do? I mean, we talked about where we are. There's answers to those three questions, the list you need to make sure you're doing the right things. But personally, I think that the end of each year, actually the end of each month, can be a Kairos moment for us, because we all operate well when we have rhythms. So a normal rhythm would be, let's just pick a normal week, Monday through Sunday. Like for me, I sit down at Sunday night at 8 o'clock. That's when my alert goes off. I may snooze it a little bit. 8 o'clock on Sunday nights, I plan the week. That helps me sleep better. If you didn't see one of my posts on Facebook or Twitter this week, there are two major things that'll make you sleep better. One is to plan your week on Sunday night instead of Monday morning. So write that down. Plan it on Sunday night instead of Monday morning. You're not getting that much of a jump start on the week, but just process this. What if you're worried about what all is going to happen next week and you go to bed? What if you sit down for 30 minutes, maybe an hour for some of you, and take all those things you're worried about and you plan them and give them a place and where they're going to be activated, where they're going to be taken care of, and you put them on your next week's calendar, and then you go to bed. It's just common sense. You're going to sleep better. Second thing that's going to make you sleep better. Now, I forgot what it was. Plan your week, and oh my gosh, my brain's quit working today. Who remembers what I put in my post? I can find it real quick. Plan your week and oh, get to inbox 0. Those are the two things. Yeah. Sorry. Do y'all ever have those moments? Lord have mercy. I couldn't think of it. So inbox 0. So I learned this a while back. I don't always get there every day. I try. But I sleep so much better and feel like I don't have a lot of stuff hanging over me when I go to bed and there's nothing in my email inbox. Try it one night. Try like today. Try and go to bed with no email in your inbox. Clean it all up. Put it somewhere, take care of it, archive it, snooze it. But you go to bed and there's nothing in your inbox for you to think about or that you need to do when you go to bed. So, 2 things. What are they? Plan your week on Sunday nights. Don't wait till Monday morning. And then go to bed at night with there being no unread, no untaken care of email that you can open your inbox. And it's like, I use a couple different, but Gmail or the Spark email application I use, both of them, if you empty your inbox, it says inbox 0, good job. And so that makes you feel good. So, but Kairos, so this is, I had to tell you that. Anyway, so a Kairos moment is when, that normal week, you're planning out your week. That's where I was going. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, your week's laid out. You got 3 meals a day. You got to sleep. You got exercise. You got Bible study. You got people you're going to meet. You got pickleball, swimming, dancing, whatever you do. Whatever you're dropping your kids off, running carpool. You got a ball game, ball practice, whatever. Whatever your week looks like, you got that rhythm going. And then something happens to break that rhythm. That's that Kairos moment. Boom. A broken bone, a car, you have a fender bender, you get a speeding ticket and you're worried about your insurance. You think money's coming in and it doesn't come in. Whatever. But it breaks your rhythm. It doesn't always have to be a catastrophe, but you know what? You have a rhythm to your life, and if you don't stop and have a Kairos moment right here at the end of the year, you're going to have this. 2024 is going to inherit the same thing you had in 2023. You need to break that. So you need to have a Kairos moment that calls you to plan, and I break that down into observe, reflect, and discuss when I teach this principle. So you have to observe it to know it's happening. The year's ending, I need to make some changes. Reflect some of these questions we're going to ask. And then it's always good to bring in that third party to discuss. And then you come up with an action plan and you act on it. And you, instead of letting that moment, the end of the year, just pass you by, you make decisions that let you operate on a higher plane for the new year. You raise the standard. Okay? So that's what the opportunity we have. And that's God's word for seize the moment. Now is the opportune time. Think about, Tommy Newberry says tomorrow changes today. Most people say well, if I do sit-ups today, I'm going to have a 6-pack of abs tomorrow. No, if you want that body and fitness level tomorrow and you focus on that and the benefits of being healthier, of fitting into your blue jeans, looking good in the bathing suit, however you picture that, the sit-ups, the Supermans, the bird dogs, the planks, the sit-ups, the crunches that you do today are going to be easier and more committed by you because you're looking at the tomorrow you want. So the tomorrow you want makes you committed to the changes you need to do today. So what does that mean in this year-end planning? Well, let's picture Christmas, December 2024. What do you want it to look like? How do you want your business to be different? How do you want your reliable, stable income from this business? What level do you want that to be at? Maybe you're a QNMD or SSC and you want to be on benefits. You want to open up 2025 with your family on the full benefits package with our company. Okay? I don't know. But I don't know but you can figure that out. But here are some things that we're trying to do to help you, okay? Every month we're doing Start Well, Finish Strong monthly coaching calls. And there's a special training in the middle. You can go to this Facebook page you're on watching this right now. If you like the page, you'll get notified, and all the upcoming events will be there. We did a training last week on managing your list. We want to help you manage your list. One of the biggest lists in our business is your memory jogger. Hope can drop in the link where we've got a whole page with videos and training and ideas to help you build an amazing memory jogger. Right now you can act. You can say, what events are you going to host and what events are you going to attend next month? Who are you having conversations with? New people and follow-ups. Are you just talking the talk, or are you going through a health upgrade, drinking more water, getting more sleep? Oh, I've got to do a training on this sometime soon. But there's a whole biblical principle and message, and I think it's why the world doesn't get enough sleep. You see, most people in America, they work crazy hours, they wait to the last minute, and they work so hard and they collapse and they have to sleep. If you would decide in 2024, I'll work at this and it's a priority in my life. Maybe you've never done. What if you decided that you were going to rest enough so that you could be the most productive you in 2024? Maybe you let sleep and rest happen if you have time. But it's when you get unhealthy. It's when you're not. It's when relationships suffer. It's when you're tired and cranky and you're not productive. You're just functioning. But if you don't rest in order to perform at your highest, then you're going to just perform until you have to rest, and it just doesn't work that way. So you need to plan to rest. There's a whole training on that. Somebody remind me, and we'll do a training on the rest work pendulum, how it swings back and forth. And if the only way for that to thrive is if you make rest a priority and you work as a rested, full of energy person, that you don't work on fumes until you crash and have to rest. It's a whole different strategy. Most people that say they're night owls, that they just what they do is they just go until they crash and they have to sleep. But what if in 2024 you could plan your sleep and rest so that you performed at the highest level? That'd be pretty cool. All right. This is the last call of the year, 12/27. We're going to finish the month strong call. And let me just let me jump. I'll keep going. 27th is our last call. Peachtree Boot Camp. It's like 2/3 full, and we're letting everybody have the holidays and relax. But the day after Christmas, we're going to go on a nationwide push to go ahead and sell the rest of the tickets. It'll sell out quickly. If you want to go ahead and get your tickets, the ticket thing's open. Travis Garza, our CEO, who is amazing, is going to be with us speaking at the Peachtree Boot Camp. It's going to be awesome. February 9th and 10th. Go to peachtreebootcamp.com. Put that in the comments, Hope. peachtreebootcamp.com. Or you can put the Eventbrite link, Hope, and you can get your tickets before it sells out next week, a week after Christmas. And then if you want a growth plan, or if this is what you want to use to help get organized for the new year, they're on the website. You can order them. Probably next Friday is the last time we'll ship until after Christmas. So if you want a growth planner to start the new year, order it before next Friday. You can download a PDF. You can download a free iPad version. So it's not a money maker for us. We just wanted to provide that for you. You can get free versions if you want to. Now, I'm going to tell you what I know, but mostly I'm going to tell you I'm excited. Tomorrow, our leadership call for QSSCs and above. You got the email. And then you're going to be able to tell everybody when it's over. But let me give you a little sneak peek. How about, what if the company, for the first time ever, that we all came together and focused on a January jumpstart kind of shred together? What if the company sneaky announced a way they were going to support us and help you do that, to help close people by the end of the year to order their Juice Plus Essentials and get their complete, because there was a special deal to do that. And there's a brand new video by a medical doctor about Juice Plus for you to use to launch and close people, to help them jumpstart January, just like we started the call today, with the goal being healthy, not being skinny. The goal being healthy, not being skinny. We want to help people do a January jumpstart dive in there with us. And don't miss, if you're a QSSC or above, don't miss the call tomorrow. And all those details, new video and everything's rolling out. And I think they're going to announce a special training to equip us for that on December the 18th. So just be ready. Not promising that's all the exact details, but it's coming and you don't want to miss out on it, okay? So if you're a QSSC or above, make sure everybody on your team QSSC or above is 100% on that call tomorrow. And then get ready the week before Christmas to give all your people an incentive to go ahead and place an order to jumpstart the new year with a special deal for them that I'm not going to tell you about yet, but they're going to get a special deal to get the Essentials Trio or Quad and join you in a healthy jumpstart using the Shred 10 protocol to kick off the new year. So details coming soon. Don't miss the call tomorrow. That's all the details I've got right now. Okay? So I really want you guys to end this year and start this new year different. Guys, the waiting game is over. Don't just, make a New Year's resolution and join a gym and throw $35, $50, $90, $100 in a jar to this new gym just because it makes you feel good. Hey, I lived up to my resolution. I joined a gym. You know what? That's kind of like signing your Juice Plus application. Don't pay $52 if you're not going to do something. Don't join a gym if you're not going to do something. You need a plan, something you can stick with. You need accountability. Ask those 3 questions. Make a list. Make it a Kairos moment so that next year's better and you operate on a higher plane. I think 2024 is going to be one of our best years ever. We're going to usher in new leadership in our country. We're going to get rid of all this baggage that we have, and it's going to be amazing. So thanks for joining this morning. Super excited to be with you today, and I hope you have an amazing time with your family over the holidays, and you get to celebrate the birth of Jesus and tell him happy birthday, and Santa Claus comes and brings you goodies, and we're going to have a new grandbaby whose name is Mary Grace. I know Hope's ready to pop, and we're excited about that. So y'all be blessed. Have a great Christmas, and we're so fortunate to be in this business, doing this together, and we can bless so many others. Have a great day. See ya.